What's up, everybody? It's the homie Truth Teller, the street reporter, with an official update on the Fbgduck case. You know, a lot of people always ask me about that. Duck, one of the people I'm asked about a lot. They always say, Truth, you're always talking about these cases. And I tell people this here, you know, these guys are famous in the drill culture. I understand these are guys that people love and like in the drill culture, but what a lot of people don't know is these guys got millions of views on YouTube. They got what people call fame. In this era, they call it clout. People want to know about them. Certain cities got Hollywood unlocked. Certain cities got TMZ. Some cities got Extra. Chicago got me. So I have to speak on these topics when they go trending in the culture. CMurda just called home. You know, he on a case with Muwop, C-Thing, Los, and Kenny Mac. The feds is alleging that they had something to do with Fbgduck, you know, death. That went viral all around the internet. When he called home today, he seemed very, very confident that they coming home. He even said, don't blink, because if you blink, you're going to miss it. He coming home. He feels very confident that they coming home. And I think a lot of that got to do with, you know, this the drill culture. This the internet era. Anytime something happen, to jump on the internet, even if it's a hunch of it, to jump on the internet. And it ain't nothing about nobody telling on each other on that internet. It ain't nothing about nobody snitching, people working with the feds, cooperating with the police. We haven't heard one rumor about that. Seem like these guys are locked up with their mouth closed. They got their hand on their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody telling. And I'm not saying that they got something to tell. You know, those guys are claiming they innocent. Maybe the feds jumped the gun. A lot of people feel like, because it's the feds, you're automatically locked up. And I understand it, because they got like a 99% conviction rate. You know, that's like a cheat code. When the feds come in, you can pretty much say, I'll holler at you later for about 10, 15 years. That's normally how it happens, you know. And that's really if you're working out a deal. The feds come in and they push you into this shit because they got these resources. But that man say he feel like they coming home, and I think a lot got to do with ain't nobody talking. Then, you know, a lot of this information that we hear is secondhand. Because I heard a lot about people having hoodies and shit. Yeah, they might have a car and a license plate. But can that license plate put 5 people in it? A couple cars. Can that license plate tell you that guy who jumped out that car who had a hoodie on like this right here? You feel me? I want y'all to see this shit. Look, he had a hoodie on like this, right? He had his hoodie on in his head and he belt out shooting. Can you tell who this is? You know, you ain't got, if you ain't got nobody saying that was John in that hoodie that was tied up tight, can you really say that was him? And then, you know, you got to remember, I'm a street reporter. A lot of people see me interviewing, so sometimes they say, oh man, that's just true. They don't understand that I'm a real drill historian. I got real sources all throughout the country to be giving me information. When I looked at the Oblock reports, because I looked at the paperwork, I didn't just come up with a hunch and say, man, then what? I didn't do that. I looked at the paperwork. Even though the police alleged it was those 5 guys, when you look in the paperwork, it clearly says everyone had masks on. Everyone was masked up. It says that in the paperwork. Okay? So for you to say instantly that guy right there was Lil Henry, you know, I mean, it's just not as clear cut as that, but I get it. The feds, it's hard to beat them. I've never seen nobody beat the feds. A lot of people say NBA YoungBoy just beat the feds. I spoke on this. I can't really say that. That was a gun case, to be honest with you. He shouldn't really been charged with a fed case on a gun case anyway. Man, the man had like $1 million bond. I ain't never seen nobody with $1 million bond for a gun. Seemed like that was some fishy shit in there anyway. And then we already know about the Irv Gotti shit. I don't really think, you know, Irv beat the feds. Irv ain't really did anything, you know. We all understand that they try to lock Irv up to dry the money up because he was fucking with a well-known gangbanging Supreme McGriff. So the feds just threw him in there to make sure they can dry his pockets out because he's out here supporting this guy, funding movies and record labels. They didn't really like that. So I'm not gonna lie, when the feds come in, it does feel like somebody didn't threw their life away, to be honest with you. But, you know, you gotta understand, CMurda seems confident. And like I said, I looked in the paperwork. I didn't see anybody identified. So it must be somebody who doing something. Maybe the feds holding this information. They just gonna throw it in the air in the fall of next year when that murder trial starts. But, you know, that's all I can tell you right there, you know. I want to ask y'all a question, though, instead of me always talking, because I'm always talking all the time. I want to ask y'all, do you believe CMurda when he say he coming home? Don't blink your eye. Do you feel like maybe it's a chance these guys could come on? Because I want to tell you something. I don't got no fight in this. I think Duck is the legend. I fuck with his music. I think he's a titan in the drill culture. And I fuck with a lot of the Oblock artists, too. But I want to be honest with you, though. You know, the internet has convicted those guys. Not saying they ain't had nothing to do with it. Don't come beat me up and put truth in the headlock and all this. I ain't saying that. I'm just saying I have seen the internet convict Oblock, you know, without being in the courtroom. The same way I see a lot of people wishing death on Quando Rondo. I say this a lot, you know. I mean, I'm not saying Quando is the best man in the world, but I pray for that young man. I see a lot of people wishing death on that young man. You know, it's like a bad energy around.